All right. What's yo? Welcome to the Red Road East. I'm your host, Fierce Truth Seeker. The Red Road East is an Indigenous TV program dedicated to archiving and preserving the history, legacy, and culture of the original peoples east of the Mississippi River and the Caribbean. All right. So let's see, we got four people watching now, and we have two in the chat. We got El God, and we got APJR, AP Junior. Hey, peace, peace, peace. Yeah. So we're here with Moors and Indians, friends or enemies, part number 23. So basically, we already uh we have already satisfied any doubt as to whether Moors are indigenous to indigenous or aboriginal to America. And we've also satisfied with beyond the shadow of a doubt that the Moors were an empire. Okay. And beyond the shadow of a doubt that the Moors, that the term Moor is not merely a descriptive term, but it was also a noun having to do with a people, okay? A specific people, okay? A nationality. We've already, I've done, for those who are new, this is part 23. I did previously 22 lectures worth of proof establishing those facts. So for those who are new to the channel, you go back into my channel and you go all the way back to lecture number 1, all the way up to 22. Today will be 23. Okay. And that's really what you would call overkill. That's actually overkill. But, I have gone on to just do it for the sake of, no matter how much proof we put out, you still have naysayers. I really don't have to do any more videos on that particular topic because 22 is beyond enough. But that's just how much information that the fierce truth seeker has, establishing how much more information the fierce truth seeker has, establishing that as being a fact. Okay. Anyone who doesn't understand, overstand, and understand that to be a fact by now is academically incompetent. Okay. Poorly read and researched. Okay. Because there's too much evidence out there floating around. There are too many books out there establishing these facts. Okay. So I don't plan to be too long today, all right, because the fierce truth seeker wants to eat dinner, all right, and it's late in the evening, so I'm gonna try to keep it no more than about 35 minutes, 45 at the most, okay? So what I'm gonna do right now, I am gonna pull up some documents. So give me a minute, and I'm gonna pull up some documents for y'all. Okay, don't go anywhere because it's and two, I was gonna share a video with y'all, but YouTube has been doing the channel dirty. Okay, I gotta say they're dirty, probably racist. I don't know, but they've been doing me dirty because they pulled the last couple of videos that I did off of YouTube. Okay, saying that there was copyright infringement, even though at the beginning of the video I put the disclaimer out there, and cited the Fair Use Act, and they still pulled the video down. Well, it was actually one of the videos down for copyright purposes. Okay, so you know that's why I'm not sharing a video with y'all, and I'm just gonna bring up the sources and things of that nature. So give me a minute to pull up my documents, and I will be right. We got George in the house. Hey, thanks for tuning in. Yeah. So what I'm gonna do right now, I'm just gonna be a couple of minutes. I'm gonna pull up a couple of documents. Okay. So let me put on music in the meantime. I got some nice stuff for y'all. So just hold tight. Yeah, I see Firebird is in the house. All right. What's yo? Yeah. Glad you're able to tune in. Yeah, I was just here getting these documents together. And so, for those who just tuned in, as I was saying before, it's this is number 23 of a 22-part lecture series. And I have already established more than enough evidence that the Moors were not just merely people in North Africa, and that the Moors were not merely just a descriptive, or should I say, the term Moor was not merely a descriptive term meaning black. Okay. And I also established the fact that the Moorish people were actually an empire. Okay. It's not just descriptive. When you look at words, okay, you have more than one meaning for words. Okay. You don't just look at one meaning, nor do you look at just one source. Okay. You can't pick up one or two books and say you know everything about the Moors or about any topic. Okay. You can't watch a couple of YouTube videos. Okay. Even if you have three books, you know, if they're all coming from the same perspective, then your research is null and void. You've got to come from many different perspectives and many different angles. The those who are pro your argument and those who are against your argument. Okay, so that's how you do your research. You see what I'm saying? And I get all the time, I get people in my comment sections, who want to argue about Moors. They're telling me they all have the same. This is how you know it's dogma, because they all have the same arguments, and almost their words are almost exactly alike, verbatim. What they heard, what they're doing is they're just getting information that they heard somebody else say, and they're just regurgitating it. Okay, a lot of the people who are uh, knocking Moors, they they haven't read too many books, if any, you know. And I ask them many times, okay, well, how many books on the Moors have you read? And some of them will say things like, oh, well, it's just a feeling that I get, but I don't need for people to be in their feelings. I need to know how much research you've done, okay? Because feelings, that's just your emotions, you know. That's a feminine trait, you know. I'm talking to the males because they're some of the main ones who I get. Though there are females too who bring up the same arguments, but that's not who I'm talking about right now. But yeah, so I don't want to hear what your feelings are, and if there are people who are still out there making these arguments now, then something like I said before, there's a mental illness. Either you're an agent, and I'm believing that some of them are agents. I can, I can't say each and every one, but I'm gonna say that there are a lot of agents out there, you know, and it comes from a lot of them are they're either Pan Africanists. Okay, see, I've been in this long enough to know. Um, I've been in this long enough to know where people's mindsets are coming from and where their perspectives are coming from. Okay, there are a lot of them. They're Pan Africanists who you know uh, started this argument with Moors and debating with Moors a long time ago, and even before that, those who come out of that, Afrocentric school of thought, and a lot of these people who are calling themselves uh, Aborigines today, and I'm not picking on them. It's just that these are the main people. Excuse me. These are the main people that come to my channel and try to argue and tell me that don't speak for us, speak for yourself and blah 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 blah, and all of this nonsense, and I know where it comes from. Either that or a lot of them are Hebrew Israelites. I'm not trashing anybody's faith, but you already know what their stance is, on Moors, and it's not all Hebrew Israelites, because I personally know some Hebrew Israelites who don't buy into that foolishness, you know. So, and again, I used to go to the Moor Zionist Temple, and I've done lectures out at the Moor Zionist Temple. So, you know, and I've attended their Passover ceremonies and stuff like that. So, I don't have anything, against the real people who practice the real Hebrew faith, you know. So, but what I'm saying is, I'm talking about the ones who get out on the street corner and, you know, want to throw the Bible at white folk and stuff like that, you know. Those are the ones that I'm talking about. A lot of them, their mindset, towards Moors and things, they bring that into the whole Aboriginal thing, you know. So, um, you have to leave those ideologies, really, what your religious beliefs are, you should leave that at the door, you know. You shouldn't bring that into your culture, you know. When I say more, I'm not speaking from a religious perspective, you know. This is coming from nationality, you know, civics, you know. A lot of people, their reference for Moors is just, the they think it's just a religious thing, but those of us who know better know that the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, he brought not just the religious aspect, but he also brought civics, emphasis on civics, the nationality, you know. So anyway, enough of that. I want to now bring your attention to some information that you can take with you, because I know some of you all. Well, I know. everybody who's listening may not have a whole lot of knowledge about this particular topic, and there are a lot of you who do. So, what I want to establish is that you have to take into consideration when you talk about Moors, it's not just referring to the people in North Africa, but you had Moors all over the planet, okay, or the plane, okay, and you had them right here in the Americas. Not only that, but you have to ask yourself, well, the people, and I know a lot of people have never really thought about this in depthly, but if, in fact, civilization, well, and I know that I'm speaking to a lot of people in the chat who are already at a certain level of understanding. So right now, I'm speaking to those who have the level of understanding. Then I'll bring it back down for those who may not. Because again, this is number 23 of the lecture series. So, being that it's 23, then I'm not gonna do too much going backwards. Okay. So for those who may be new to this particular paradigm, I would suggest that you either leave this particular live right now and go back and listen to the previous videos from starting from number 1. And actually, what I suggest is that you go back to the whole series, because this is the second lecture series in a whole. This is actually, well, let me stop. What it is the whole series in and of itself is the Empire, is called The Empire Strikes Black. Okay. And the first lecture was the dealing with the origins of today's Aboriginal movement. Okay. And I did just as many videos. I did just as many lectures on that subject as I did in this second part of that series, which is this series is Moors and Indians, friends or enemies. But before that, I did uh, the lineage of the Aboriginal movement. Okay, so you're talking about, if you want to get caught up, if anyone is lost in what I'm saying tonight, it's because you have to go back to like about maybe close to 50 videos that preceded this. Okay, lectures that preceded this. So this is going to be somewhat of an advanced lecture tonight. Okay, so if you're lost and you don't want to go back tonight and look at the previous videos, then I would say just take notes, okay? And if you have any, excuse me, if you have any questions, then you know, just hold those questions, you know, for later on after you finish watching those videos. If you have more questions, then I would say, uh, look at those videos first and then ask the questions after you look at those videos. Okay. So with that being said, I want to now talk about where pick up from where I left off before I interjected that. So, if in fact civilization, for the advanced out there, those in the know, if civilization started here in the Americas, then would it be a big stretch of the imagination to say that a lot of the Moors that were in Europe and North Africa were, in fact, American Indians or Moors here? Do y'all see where I'm going with this? Okay, I'm going somewhere with this. Stretch your imagination a little bit. Okay, now this is something that is not too often discussed. However, what a lot of people don't know is that Americans have been going, they always talk about the Europeans that have come here and explored and colonized and things of that nature, right? But not too many people talk about the Americans who went over to Europe and Africa and explored and colonized. Okay? So there has been a going back and forth, meaning those who had been leaving from here and going over there, and those over there who have been coming here. Okay? And this has been going on for thousands of years. Okay? So, with that in mind, and also in different time periods, all the way coming up to the time of Columbus. Okay? How many of y'all know that 11,500 years ago, Americans were going into Europe and North Africa? Put a one in the chat if you knew that. I'll wait for 1 minute. Nobody. Nobody. Okay, we got one. Damien. Oh, Elgod. Okay. Two people. Two people out of, let's see how many people are watching now. Let's see how many people we have watching now. Let's see. We got 12 people. Wow. Out of 12 people, only two people knew that. Okay. 1 minute is almost up. After 10 more seconds, I'll move on. One more person. I've heard about it. Okay, we got one more person. Let's see, who is this? George, the third. George. George says, I've heard about it, but I haven't done any research on it. Okay. Oh, we got P and F, Lord of the Crickets. Hey, greetings, brother. Thumbs up. Yeah. Okay. So, Lord of the Crickets has heard that too. Okay. So, that's what's this? One, two, three. We got four people out of 13 who actually knew that. Wow. Okay. So, before I proceed, let me just leave in the chat for those who are generous enough to leave a donation. I'm leaving the Cash App and PayPal information. Also, PNF, was that you who left the donation the other day? I got a donation from somebody. It looked like it was from you. Not sure though. I just wanted to give the proper acknowledgement if that was. Okay, somebody else knows. King of Nice. Okay, King of Nice knew that. Supreme Commander. Yep. Oh yeah. Thank you, good brother. Supreme Commander. Yeah, that's where it was from. Yeah, give thanks, man. And yeah, because I tried to email you to find out if that was in fact you. I don't know if you used that if that's an old email that I have for you. Um, if so, I want to get your email too, because I wanted to send you some information too. I had a nice book that I wanted to send you. So I don't know how I can get that to you. If that old email is is still active or not. But if you know my email, we've emailed before, so just hit me up with your current email. And but it would be, I guess, yeah, it would be in that where you left the donation. That would be it. I guess that would be the email. Yeah, so I'll check on that. But I wanted to send you a book. But anyway, uh, yeah. So okay, so good. So there are some people in the chat who is familiar with the fact that we were going into Europe and Africa 11,500 years ago. Okay, and well, okay, let me see. Someone says Damien says I used to think Western Europe had it's small here. I got to look at it on the bigger screen, which is over here. Okay, yeah, much better. I used to think Western Eurasia had a natural historic Aborigine presence, but geological tells us it was underwater. Jack Forbes believed American Indians settled there. Yes, okay. Jack Forbes and other authors as well. Okay. Ignatius Donnelly also believed that. Okay. As well as other scholars. had also believed that. Also, David McRitchie, okay, as well as other scholars as well, okay. So, as a matter of fact, you can get a book called The American Discovery of Europe by Jack Forbes, okay. He talks about that in there as well. You know, although there's quite a few books that touches on that. Okay, and also to further reinforce that, they have acknowledged that this is not just one source. This is different books where it talks about how the Basque language, the Basque people of Europe, the Basque language, okay, the Basque language doesn't resemble any language in Europe. But they say, okay, so these are supposed to be Europeans, right? Some ancient Europeans. However, their language doesn't match any languages in Europe. However, it does resemble American Indian languages, and that's documented. Okay, that's documented. So, but they say even though it resembles the American Indian languages, it's still not an American Indian language. That's what they say, you know. But they do acknowledge that it is, it does resemble American Indian languages, but none in Europe. So that further reinforces the fact that we did travel over there and to Africa. And on Saturday, I'm going to have Dr. Fatou Diarra, who has been doing DNA research. Okay. And according to her research, she has affirmed that fact that we were going over there into Europe and into Africa. Okay. I was on the phone with her on Saturday and I was sharing this same information that I'm sharing with y'all now. And she was like, bingo! It added the missing piece of her research with the DNA. Okay. And that's how you do your research. I mean, people can have their opinions about DNA and this, that, and the other. Okay. You can have the same opinions about anthropology, the field of anthropology. Those fields are not the problem. The problem is that we don't have enough of our own people in those fields and doing the research. Therefore, you have people who can tell you anything to fit their particular narrative because of the fact that other people. Teachers like Dr. Khalid Muhammad used to say, if a man won't treat you right, what makes you think he's going to teach you right? Okay? So until we field and train our own anthropologists and scientists, we can't we you know we have to take everything with a grain of salt, and we also can't complain. Okay, and we're always going to be at the mercy of other people telling us what is what and leading you astray. However, we do have our own people now who are studying DNA and putting it in its proper perspective. You see, that's the difference. The difference is, you know, going with the conventional and those who are being trained in the field and looking at it from a non-biased perspective and putting it where it's supposed to be, you know. So putting the story how it's supposed to be, should I say. All right. So yeah. So this is not something that I'm just making up off of my head. This is this is coming from more than one angle. And if you notice, wait, give me 1 second. My feet are getting cold. I gotta put on some socks. 1 second here. Put on some socks. So if you notice, all over Europe, in different parts of Europe, you have these statues all over Europe of Moors, right? But yet, when you look at a lot of those Moors, why do they, why are they in American dress? Okay. Why is it that the feathered headdress is the same feathered headdress worn by American Indians? Not only the headdress, but everything adorned from head to toe, exactly as American Indians. Okay. All the naysayers who say that we are not Moors, this is where you got to talk to me. Okay. Give me 1 second. Let me share the screen. Give me 1 second here. Where is it? Let me look. What I had it here. Give me 1 second. Don't go anywhere. It's gonna get real good. Wait. Let's see. Should be here. Oh, beautiful. Okay. Look at this image. Okay. This is in Germany. Okay. And this is a Moor. Okay. Look at the headdress. Matter of fact, look at how he's adorned. Look at how he is adorned from head to toe. Okay. Exactly like the images you see that the early sketch artists and the uh, photographers took way back in the days. Okay? You have to talk to me about that. Okay? And I know that there are people who are listening right now who are very familiar with most of the images that look like this. Okay? So I'm not going to share too many, but I also know that there are those who are not familiar with a lot of these images. Okay? But give me 1 second. Share the screen again. Don't go anywhere, like I said. It's going to be good. Yeah, give me 1 second. I'm pulling up, queuing up here. Okay. Give me 1 second. Just pulling this up. Okay. Now, if you look at these images, okay, these are more images, no pun intended, the more. These are more images here, okay, from different parts of Europe. These are two different images here, okay. See here we have right here. See where my arrow is, okay. Here we have right here another one, and same type of headdress and the same regal, same adornment, okay, as you see in the Americas. Same with this one right next to him. Okay, this is from another part of Europe. Okay, and these were, they said they're Moors. Okay, put a one in the chat because I know y'all have seen these images before. I don't need to go and dig up the images. Y'all know, those who are in the chat, y'all know that when you look up these images in Europe, y'all know that they say Moor. Put a one in the chat if y'all know that, because I can go directly to the sites and I can show you where it says Moor, spelled differently depending on what European country is presenting the depiction. Okay, it'll say some places, it'll say, you'll see uh Morin in Germany, like the first image that I showed. Okay, it would say Morin, Mohren. Okay, and in Germany you'll see all over, like all over Germany, you'll see on buildings, it'll say Morin Apakit, okay? And when you see on those buildings, you'll see these statues, the images, okay? As a matter of fact, just to, I don't like people to say I'm making things up. So just for the sake of argument, I'm gonna pull up, I'm gonna go directly to a page. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Don't go anywhere. Give me 1 second. Don't go anywhere. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, hold on. Just give me 1 second. This is taking a minute to taking a little minute to come in. Got a little buffering going on. Give me a second. It's buffering. Y'all know how that goes when the what they call the beach ball of doom comes up. That's what they call the beach ball of doom. Okay, so let me stop sharing this one for a minute. Okay, stop buffering. Now I can share. Okay, is this it? Oh, there we go. Okay, so I don't like to make this stuff up. You know, I always like to give the receipts. Okay, like to give the receipts. So here, all over, you find on these buildings the statues of these Moors. Okay, can y'all see? Let's see if I can make this bigger. Let me see. How do I make this bigger? View image. Okay, there we go. Okay, you see right here, it says Morin, Mohren, Apotheke. It's German, so I know I'm messing that word up. Or apothek. But anyway, however that's pronounced. Wait a minute, let me see how you pronounce this. Let me see. How do you pronounce Apotheke pronunciation? I don't like to butcher words, so just give me 1 second here. Looking up. Okay.
Apotheker.
Oh, okay. Apotheka.
Apotheker.
Okay, so it's pronounced apotheka. Apotheka. Okay, so it's Morin apotheka. Okay, and you find this like on every corner, damn near. And the reason for that is because these are pharmacies. Okay, that apotheka means pharmacy. Okay, so on all of these, you find, and not just the pharmacies either, you find them on a lot of buildings, that those statues in a lot of places. You find those statues of Moors. So why are these Moors looking like American Indians? Talk to me, huh? If Indians were not Moors, then someone tell me why you had these Moors in Europe looking exactly like American Indians. Now, some of you who, have, really no, type of knowledge may say, well, well, those are not American Indians because they're dark skinned. Okay. Then you don't need to really be in this live. That means, you need to be in a remedial class because, we've already talked about that. That's old news right about now, you know. So if you want, if you're confused about whether, I'm not saying that there are not Indians who, are of a different persuasion and things like that. And I'm not challenging anybody's indigeneity. You know, that's not what I'm doing here. Okay. I'm not saying other people don't have the blood. I'm not saying that other people were not here in pre Columbian times. You know, we're going more ancient than that, though. We're going all the way to the beginning before these tribes started marrying out, before foreigners started coming and intermixing. Okay. So, if in fact that the Moors or the Indians were Moors, okay, and the Indians were originally a dark skinned people, here would be the evidence right there in Europe. Ooh, did you catch that? Okay. And why? the great historian, the great Scottish historian, David McRitchie, was saying that the Indians here were spoken of as being Moors. Okay, now we're talking in the descriptive aspect. Okay, see, everything has to be in its proper perspective. Okay, and those of you who are listening who have channels, I know there's a lot of people who are listening who have channels. Okay, you can't let these people tie you up, you know, with the foolishness. You got to, you got to be able to put all of the pieces together. Okay, it's all in seeing how this stuff interconnects. You see, the fierce truth seeker, they can't come at the fierce truth seeker. They've noticed, people don't really come to the fierce truth seeker like that. Okay, because I been doing this for 30 years. I can hit you with a one hitter quitter, okay, and shut you down before it even gets started. Okay, so you can't let these people post you up. You know, let's go to the root. Okay, go to the root. So when you go to the root, you're looking at the fact that Americans were going over into these places. Okay, and when you look at the places where they went to, okay, they have oral histories of a red people coming to their lands in ancient times. Okay, they have those. As a matter of fact, if you read in David McRitchie, okay, in the beginning of the book, I think it's like on page like it might be on like I'm just going off of my head. I think it's like page maybe maybe 12, maybe something like that. Okay, he talks about the red people from America that came over into Europe and North Africa. Okay, going into, and he even says specifically the Iberian Peninsula. Okay, same places where the Moors had their strongholds. Okay, so now here's one picture. Let me go to another one. One second here. Go down a little bit. Um, um, second. One. Anyway, I'm trying to find another one on this, but let's get past that. But so anyway, so we have established the fact that this is just Germany. Okay, you find those, like I said, you find those images all over Europe. Okay, and now I want to go to this article Okay, give me 1 second. Go to this article here. Hold on. So in Europe, again, you have all of these statues of these Moors all over Europe. And the Black Lives Matter people are trying to have these statues removed, and also the Afrocentrics over in Europe. They're trying to have these images removed. Give me 1 second. Oh, wait, that's not the one. Hold on. Pulling up an article here. Give me 1 second. Oh, wait, no. Eyes. Woo! I had to see this. Give me 1 second. Don't go anywhere. I got some good stuff for you. Hold tight. Okay, yeah, this is it. This is the one. No, it's another one. Got so many of these articles. Hard to keep up with them. I just had it. Let me just close that. Bear with me. I got so many. I got so many articles. It's hard to keep up with this stuff, man. My goodness. Critiquing. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Here we go. Okay. All right. So the Afrocentrics are trying to get rid of these statues. Okay. Because of the fact that, see, when they see these images, see, they don't have the knowledge of, they don't have the knowledge that we have. So when they see these images, they just look at it as being what they call blackface, okay? Not knowing that that is actually evidence of our presence there, okay? And it's just like Who saw the movie, the Netflix movie with Meghan on Meghan Markle and the Prince? Okay, there's a scene in that movie where a family friend, a friend of the royal family, had on this brooch with the what they call the blackamoor. Okay, and Meghan Markle and her husband, they were upset, and telling her to take it off, because it symbolizes racism and blah 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 blah. And she said, oh, I will not, I will not take this off. This is a prized possession that has come down to the family for centuries. This is a blackamoor. Who saw that? Who saw that on the Netflix? And put a one in the chat if y'all saw that movie. Anybody? Put a one in the chat if y'all saw that on Netflix. Nobody, huh? Nobody saw that on Netflix? Yeah, there's a scene on there on Netflix where Meghan Markle and her husband, they were at this function, and they were, and she had on the brooch with the blackamoor's face on there. And Meghan Markle, of course, she's got no knowledge of self. So her and the prince, they were getting on her case and blah 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 blah. And you know telling her she should take it off because it symbolizes oppression, this, that, and the other. And she looked at them. She was like, "Are you crazy?" She said, "I will not. I will not take this off. This is a prized possession. This has been on our family for generations. This is a blackamoor." So she had more knowledge than Meghan Markle. You know, don't even know herself. But anyway, so yeah, so these Afrocentrics and the Black Lives Matter are over there in Europe trying to get rid of these images, okay? Not knowing that these images are evidence of our. So, what happens when they get rid of these images, okay? What evidence will you have, okay, of our presence there? All right. So, anyway, so I'll read the article. It says Black Central Europe, all right, critiquing the Moor pharmacy, Morin Apoteke. Oh, wait a minute. I got the proper pronunciation on that. Hold on. Let me make sure that I pronounce it right. Hold on. Like I said, I don't like to pronounce things wrong. Hold on.
apotheker,
Apoteka. Okay. That is Apoteka. I got, matter of fact, let me write.
how to
Hold on.
pronounce.
Let me write that down. Let me write that down. Apoteka. Give me 1 second. Apotheca. Okay, so critiquing the Moor pharmacy, Morin Apotheca. Okay, so it says here, oh man, this font is very small. Let me look at it on the big screen. Look at it on the big screen. Moors with in wait, I can make it bigger. Hold on. Let's see here. Zoom in, view, zoom in. What's the zoom in? What the hell? Why is it going down? Give me a sec. Okay, let me try theater mode then, or full screen. Okay, good. Yeah, full screen. Okay. In the German lands, it is, and they whited that word out, something to come across, or it is common to come across more pharmacies, Morin Apotheka, Zum Morin. Although indistinguishable from any other pharmacy except by their names, logos, and decoration, they refer back to a long standing association of Moors with worldliness and with exotic luxury. From the 19th century, it became common to brand these pharmacies with noble savage motifs and with various racist caricatures. Where have you heard that before? Noble savage. Okay. And this practice continues into the present day. In January 2018, a grassroots protest was raised in Frankfurt am Maine against the use of the term Moor pharmacy and associated imagery. The civic organization representing migrant interests, Kommunule Ausländer und Ausländerinnen für Tritonkav. I know I'm butchering that German. Unanimously accepted a proposal brought by its member Virginia Wangier Griner, a highly decorated social worker and human rights activist. In their recommendation to the city government below, they regretted that in 2018 they had to explain terms like, hold on, we'll wait for that noise in the background to subside. Again, I'm in the boogie down Bronx, so a lot of noise. Okay. Um, yeah. So they had to explain terms like nigger and Moor had a racist history that was being unconsciously perpetuated through their continued use. As a first step to removing racist labels from the city's public space, the committee identified two local Moor pharmacies and asked that they be directed to change their names and remove offensive logos. The owners of one responded immediately by immediately removing their cliched caricature of a logo to the right. So that's this right here, okay? This logo right here. But the owners of the two pharmacies and others in the region refused to consider changing their names. They variously insisted that it would be expensive for them to change, that the names were meant in a positive sense anyway, that critics were too sensitive, and that their customers wanted them to defend their local traditions. Okay, so the Afrocentrics, they're taking it, they see they don't know their history, so they're taking it as blackface, but it's not blackface. you know the Afrocentrics don't even know that deep history of the Moor presence there. So there's the statement produced widespread discussion in the press and was debated in the city parliament. This discussion also provoked a wave of abuse and hate mail sent to the members of the COV, and especially to Wanger Reiner. A series of delays in late April 2018, a coalition of CDU, SPD, and Green members of the city's executive committee, Haupt und Finanzsaches, ruled on the matter. They decided not to require the pharmacies to change their name, but affirmed the importance of the issue and the condemned, I'm sorry, the importance of the issue and condemned the abusive efforts to stifle critics of the pharmacies. The issue resonated beyond Hessen as well. Most arguably, in Nuremberg, the racial right AFD parliamentary hopeful Matthias Vogler protested against what he labeled authoritarian political correctness by handing out so-called Moor's Head confections outside the Morin Apotheke zu Lorenz. The 2018 debates around the Kav's proposal highlighted the distance between activists and sympathizers who drew attention to structures that perpetuated racist ways of thinking and a larger majority defending the tradition, who, and foremost by conscious intention. The debate reemerged in the summer of 2020 in the context of the global attention drawn by the Black Lives Matter movement and pharmacy owners in Vienna, Kiel, and Munich have met with activists and had been convinced that the name change is the right thing to do. Proposals to the city council. So we don't have to go into all of that. I just wanted to mainly highlight that the Black Lives Matter people are trying to get rid of those images, okay? And also, what they don't understand is that when you look at the coat of arms over in Europe, I mean, the old ones, you're going to find, you know, those Moor heads, you know. So kind of makes you think that, this is designed to really, the real intention is to get rid of the proof that Moors had ruled Europe at one time and were all over Europe at one time, you know. So we have a question here. Oh, we got some people who just tuned in. Oh, one PNF asking a question too. Sorry about that. Hold on, let me minimize this screen on the other computer. Give me one second. Right, how do I escape? Okay, cool. Yeah, because I could see it better on the big screen. Did Moorish or Indian build the cathedral building in question? Uh, that I'm not sure. That I'm not sure. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, you know, because a lot of that stuff over there, it wasn't the Albions who built, you know, most of that stuff over there. To keep it a buck, you know, that was, you know, because you got to remember the Albions for a long time were under servitude. Not only that, but a lot of them were illiterate. Okay, that's no disrespect to anyone who is Caucasian, who may be tuning in right now. You know, um, a lot of y'all had been lied to and had been made to feel. And I have to put this disclaimer out there. I'm not trying to do any type of reverse racism or anything like that. But we've been taught that people of a darker hue were nothing but, our origins go back to slavery, okay, and didn't contribute to, in a major way at least, to the origins of civilization, okay. My words are not my words are not racially motivated, but they are historic. Okay, I've been researching for a long time, so and a lot of Caucasian people have been miseducated as well as highly melanated people. Okay, so when I'm saying things like a lot of the Caucasian people in Europe were under servitude and were illiterate and things like that, you can look that stuff up, okay? Because realistically, a lot of the people, and I have to put this disclaimer out there because there are people who's gonna say that I'm teaching hate, and I'm not. Okay, I'm just well informed. Okay, they a lot of the personages, the historical figures that are famous, okay, and people of note, we've been taught that these people were Caucasian, okay? And realistically, a lot of the people that we've been taught over in Europe who were supposed to be pale skinned were actually highly melanated people, okay? And this is, you can do your research on that, you know, uh, don't argue with me, do the research, you know, uh, Queen Charlotte, okay, King James, Queen Anne, okay, Socrates, okay, Beethoven, okay, King Henry, okay. A lot of these people, these were Moorish people, okay. These were Moorish people, okay. Swarthy, dark-skinned people, okay. Just do your research, all right. So I just have to put that disclaimer out there before y'all label me as someone who's teaching hate or reverse racism. Okay. So with that being said, I just had to put that out there, PNF, because one thing you're gonna learn the longer you do this, brother, is people are gonna label you if you don't go back and dot your I's and cross your T's, okay, and make it be known and put the disclaimers out there. Even if you're not trying to be that way, they will do that. Okay. So to answer your question, I don't know about that particular building in particular, but what I do know is that a lot of those, the majority of that stuff over there were not built by Albion. Okay. Uh, you know, those people were under servitude to the Moors. Okay, that's another subject for another time. I don't like to talk without having my documentation. I like to, whenever I say something, I like to be able to produce the receipts. So it's not that I don't have the receipts. I have them, but I like to be able to put them on the screen for you to see. I'm not just making this up. So yeah, they were under servitude. Okay, that's where you get slave comes from, Slav. Okay, that's where it comes from. But anyway, we have another question. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Okay, Damien has a question or statement. Um, no, the question is, where did the term Moorish come from? Why are they called Moors when they come from different tribes indigenous to the Western Hemisphere? Okay, I'm not going to answer that now because we dealt with that in the previous. Um, we're going to have to go back to the previous lectures. We already dealt with that. I'm moving forward now, so I don't want to go backwards. As I said in the beginning, you know, we dealt with that already. So I would say go back and listen to the previous presentations because that was already answered. And um, as I move forward, you know, we may touch on some things along those lines, but I want to stay on topic. Okay. So anyway, so I want to read something to you. So we already talked about the fact that more, well, actually, too, you want to, Damien, you want to also, as you go back and look at the previous videos, you're also going to want to check out the next video that I do as well, because I'm going to get even deeper on that. Okay. But right now, I'm just dealing with what I intend to talk about for tonight. Okay. So, just stay tuned. But anyway, I want to read to you. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. It's on page 19. Okay. All right. So this is coming from, many of y'all are familiar with this book by Jack Forbes, Africans and Native Americans, The Language of Race and the Evolution of Red Black Peoples. Okay. So, and this is in the first chapter, the part entitled Kidnapped Americans in Europe Before 1492. Okay. So it reads, in any case, Americans did not reach Europe and Africa solely by means of voluntary voyages or storm driven adventures. European expeditions to the Americas are known to have taken thousands, listen, thousands of Americans to the East, and some of these involuntary journeys preceded the time of Columbus. By the 9th century AD, the European frontier was advancing northwards and westwards, with Irish and Scottish hermits or monks reaching Iceland. Close behind them were Norse speaking settlers and raiders from Norway and the various islands north of Scotland. Our knowledge of what happened in this region is shrouded in mystery because the earliest detailed sources, the Icelandic sagas, are of a much later date and are oriented towards the adventures of particular individuals only. According to the sagas, Greenland was not reached by the Norse until very late in the 10th century, being named at that time by Eric the Red. On the other hand, several of his information might indicate earlier contact. First, a papal bull attributed to 834 to 835 reportedly already mentions both Iceland and Greenland. Secondly, a pale colored woman with chestnut hair was reportedly seen among the Americans of Finland or Newfoundland in circa 1006. Thirdly, when the Norse reached Greenland in circa 985 to 86, they found both towards the east and west traces of human dwellings, as well as fragments of small boats made of skin and such instruments of stone, which made it clear that the same kind of people had just lived or had journeyed there, who had peopled Vinland, and whom the Greenlanders, the Norse, called Skraelings. Okay, and those of you who are in the know, the Skraelings, those were the pygmies. Okay, another subject for another time. Archaeology, archaeology does not thus far support Inuit occupation of the south of Greenland in the 900s, although Inuits of the Dorset culture were there in earlier times. Nonetheless, the remains seen by the Norse were clearly of recent origin. This suggests that the abandonment of South Greenland by Dorset people could have been due to raiding by Norse or Celtic pirates in the years prior to 985. If so, it is conceivable that captives were carried back to Europe, since both the Norse and Irish possessed slaves in that era. The Norse, who settled in Greenland before AD 1000, made several journeys westward to Markland or Labrador in Vinland, Terra Nova or Newfoundland. In 1009, they captured two young Americans in Markland and carried them away to Greenland and, in all probability, to Norway. The Norse sagas state those boys they kept with them taught them their language and they were baptized. They gave their mother's name as Fakildi. Yeah, Fakildi. That of their father as Uvaigi. Thorfinn calls Finney, the owner of the captives, did not stay long in Greenland, but sailed with all of his belongings directly to Norway in 1009, later returning to Iceland. Since the Americans were his property and since the information about their learning to speak Norse and being baptized is recorded in an Icelandic saga, we must assume that they were taken to Norway with Karlsfinni and perhaps from there to Iceland. Thus, in the year 1010 or thereabouts, we have record of the first Americans to reach northern Europe involuntarily in the late pre-Columbian period. Okay, so this is another dispensation of time of Americans in Europe. Okay, in the year 1010. Okay, well, that's when it was recorded, but they were taken in 1009. Okay, now this is hundreds of years before Columbus. Okay, and this is not even talking about those that went there voluntarily thousands of years ago. As we said before, 11,500 years ago. Okay, so it continues. The Norse of Greenland and Iceland therefore made visits to Markland to obtain timber and other goods, one voyage being as late as 1347 with their very small vessel was blown from Markland to Iceland. The Greenland Norse also began having military contacts with Inuit people in Greenland in the early 1300s, and sporadic hostilities continued for a century or more. Since the Norse had a history of using Irish and Scots as slaves, we can assume that a small number of Inuit or other American captives would also be taken, even as several Norse were captured by the Inuit. Okay, so you see the reverse also happened naturally due to being at war with each other. Okay, so it's saying here that at that early time, even Americans were being captured by the natives. So, you know, and this is a future lecture that I'm going to be doing, okay, talking about assimilation in the reverse. Not too many people talk about assimilation in the reverse. They always talk about assimilation due to them, okay, the colonizers forcing us to assimilate, but not the other way around. And that's another way that a lot of these tribes became lightened up. Okay, that's another way that they became lightened up. Another subject, again, for another time. Okay, so continuing, it should be noted here that it should be noted here that the 1347 wind driven voyage of 17 or 18 Norse Greenlanders in a very small boat from the coast of Markland to Iceland, a boat that was not even equipped with an anchor, tends to reinforce the possibility that Americans in similar sized craft could also be storm driven to Europe. Prevailing winds in the North Atlantic also sometimes drove Norse vessels eastwards to Ireland. In this connection, it is worth noting also that in old Shetlandic folktales, Finns, Inuits often arrive in those islands in the form of seals. Wait a minute. Yeah, in the form of seals. And then casting their skins aside became human beings. It has been suggested that this refers to the arrival of people in skin covered kayaks. Some folklorists prefer other symbolic interpretations. In any case, the presence of Inuits in kayaks around the islands north of Britain will be discussed below. Okay, and I'm not gonna read any further on that tonight in this presentation. We'll go a little further into that in the next presentation. But I just wanted to give you some reference to see that the fierce truth seeker is not pulling this right out of his hat, pardon pun. Okay, that I have the documentation. Okay, so let's see. Oh, we got some more people who came in. Ah, yeah, yeah, okay, more people than I expected. Give me 1 second here. I can see it better on this screen. 15 watching now. Okay, let's see who we got. Because I like to properly acknowledge. I didn't know we are gonna have so many. If I miss you, I deeply apologize. But before going forward, I want to leave information in the chat where those who are generous enough to leave a donation, the information is there, okay, for PayPal and Cash App, okay. And let's see who we have. King of Nice. Okay, I think I acknowledged King of Nice already. PNF got Damien. Uh, who else? King of Nice and another. Staying America and Europe was connected through Greenland. Uh huh. And you could actually walk to Europe from Americas. Exactly. Exactly. Okay, we got UTLS, United Through Life Struggles in the house. Yeah, I just want to acknowledge everybody. I like to, you know, acknowledge everybody. The Wabanaki claims the Basque people as kin. They may be Algonquins. Yeah, I believe so too. Um, but the other books that I've read on the topic allude to their language as resembling not only the Algonquins. That's from the context that I'm reading. It's saying that their structure is related to all of the languages, and I could be wrong, but that's what I'm getting from the other books that I'm reading that talk about that. You know, again, don't quote me on that, but that's what I'm getting from the context of what I'm reading. And these are, this stuff that I'm putting out is just areas that I've touched on, throughout my, you know, 30 years of walking the red road. I'm hoping that some of y'all will take different aspects of this and take it even further. You know, that's what I'm hoping, and that's good for everybody. The more information, the merrier. The free G. Uh, um, Columbus was supposed to be Basque. Well, yeah, I never heard that one. Okay. And we have somebody named Free G, a new person. Okay. Hey, thanks for joining. I'm just trying to, before I go forward, I just want to just acknowledge everybody right quick. In PNF. So I just met two British soldiers with British accents at Fort Benning in Georgia, and they called him a Moor. Wow, they called you a Moor. LOL. It was funny, and they were respectful, but they call us more still. Wow, that's what's up. Let's see. Let's see who else. Who else didn't I get? Keeping it Moorish. Okay, keeping it Moorish is in the house. Thanks for joining. Keeping it Moorish. Who else didn't I acknowledge yet? Let's see. I'm gonna make sure I get everybody. Will Will Stone. Let me look on the yeah, Will Stone. He just tuned in. Oh, thanks, Will Stone, for tuning in. Uh, Coco Federation. Hey, peace. Thanks for tuning in. I see Ashe. Yeah. And who else didn't I get? And we have I gotta see that one on the other screen. Anpo Costa. Yeah, that's a familiar name. What I was told about Moors was when the last Nubian dynasty fell, the remnants of that dynasty became known as Berber or Bedouin. The Islamic Empire founded them and asked them for help to conquer. Yeah, that's one aspect, but you gotta remember there's many um, different groups of Moors. So we have crazy groups of Moors right here um, among the American Indian tribes. Only the fierce truth seeker knows this. Not that I'm trying to keep secrets or nothing, but y'all want all of the information all at one time. You know, it's too much to give all at one time. You know, but yeah, there's a whole bunch of more different more tribes here in the Americas. A lot of people don't know that. You know, I was trying to pull up one of the because, like I say, I don't like to talk. I don't like to just talk. I like to put the documents. I got so many documents, and not all of the documents are digital. So I have to pull up the papers, and dig among my crates. Digging in the crates. To dig among my crates and pull a lot of stuff up because I don't like to talk it unless I can put it in front of your face. You know, but yeah. Let's see what else do we have here. The Latin Empire. Let me look at it on here because it's bigger on this thing. The Latin Empire is literally the empire that defeated Byzantine. They are called Moria. Yeah, Moria. The Latin Empire is the West that took over North Africa and Europe. Mm-hmm. Yep. And, who else didn't? There's too many comments right now. I'll be here all night. Let me see. Who didn't I get? Okay, here's someone I didn't acknowledge yet, and that's Peace. I'm. I see that on the other screen too. Peace. I'm Kiara. Yes. Hey, Peace. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah. And oh yeah, definitely. Hey, what's up, cousin Awanasa? Hey, peace, peace. Thanks for joining. And who else? And yeah, no, I think I saw my other cousin Halima somewhere in the chat. Yeah, here she's right here. Hey, peace, cousin. How you doing? Glad you could tune in. Yeah. So, all right. So I'm not gonna. We'll come back to the comments because I got more ground that I want to cover. Okay. So let's see. I want to share some more information. Give me 1 second here. Where did these documents go? I had that pulled up already. Give me 1 second. Okay. Let me share the screen. Give me 1 second. Don't go anywhere. I'm just pulling up a document. Okay. Share. Okay. So what we're looking at here are some more, again, pardon the pun, some more images, okay, in Europe. And here's one right here. You can see where my arrow is, okay. And if you look at the from head to toe, that's American. Is there anyone in the chat who doesn't recognize that manner of dress as American? Does everyone in the chat recognize that that manner of dress as American? Are y'all asleep or are y'all awake? Put a, you just put a one up, or if you're not aware, put a two. And if you're not aware, I'll refer you to John Ogilvy's book and Arnaldo Montana's, as well as various drawings of the various sketch artists, Yeah, that is a feathered headdress, Awanasa. I know it's small. You came in late, so you didn't see the up close ones. But yeah, that is a feathered headdress. And hold on one second. Oh, thank you. You bring the seasonings and yeah. So yes, that's feathered headdress. Okay, and if you really want to get some validation, you go to the Caribbean. Okay, so I remember growing up. Again, I'm half Caribbean. You know, so I remember growing up. Seeing the imagery of the Indians. Looking like that. I always saw that growing up as a child. You know, that same type of feathered headdress. Um, you know, the whole like from head to bottom, from head to toe. You know, that same manner of dress. Okay, and here we have another image of a Moor. Okay, another image of a Moor in black and white here. All right, this German image. Okay, so now what I want to do, take a look at something else. Hold on. So now I want to take a look at an American Indian name. Okay, actually, even before that, I want to take you somewhere else. I know many of you have seen this image before. Okay, this is a town of called Morocco. Okay, in Indiana. Okay, and it says in Morocco, Indiana was founded in 1851, 100 years before the Morocco of North Africa was founded, which was in 1956. Okay, I know that many of the Moors in the chat are familiar with this. Some of the others that are in the chat may not be too familiar with this. Okay, now what I want to bring to your attention is an American Indian during the time of the when a lot of American Indians were enslaved, more up to the present time here in the South. So this is an excerpt here from one of my books. I forgot which one it was right off my head, but it says here, to our surprise, it turns out that a 17th century Virginian named Jack of Morocco was not an African, but an Indian. And equally confusing is Blackjack, Bearded Jack, and Mr. Bones. And Mr. Bones also were Virginia Indians. Let me repeat that. I think that went over your head. To our surprise, it turns out that a 17th century Virginian, Jack of Morocco, was not an African. For all of those who say that there was no Morocco here. Okay? Jack of Morocco was not an African, but an Indian. And equally confusing is that Blackjack, Bearded Jack, and Mr. Bones were also Virginia Indians. We must leave this inquiry into Negro names, keeping in mind that far beyond the obvious ones, like Huxley, Ocala, Appalachia, and Tuscarora Betty, belong to Indians rather than Africans. Rather than Africans. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Yes, yes. Bombs. That's right, Mike Eaton. Bomb. 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 Let them fireworks off. Okay? Let them fireworks. Let me let that hang for a second. Just let that hang for a second. Got him. These nuts. No, let me stop. Got him. Got him. Got him. Got him. Got him. Got him. Yeah, I'm sorry to scare you, Kiara. Woo! That's a bomb. Okay. So for all the more haters, we got you. I told you I could do this all day long. I can literally do this all day long. Okay. So now here's another add-on to that. Let me add. Damien says, "Hey yo, that's just for the haters, you know." But you know, so I want to add this on here. So here we have a map, okay, and this map here, what we see is, if you look very carefully, let me see if I can make this bigger so that there is no confusion. If you look right up here, that's circled. I got this from, some of the fellow Moors on Facebook back in the days. If you see here on the place map, well, first here, right here, you see Bahamas, right? Bahamas, right? You see Bahamas where my cursor is, where the arrow is. And right up here in Florida, you see Morocco. Ooh, got him. Ooh, game over. Game over. I'm gonna let that hang for a minute. Let that hang for a minute. Morocco. As I let that hang for a minute, let me pull something else up. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Uh, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Give me 1 second. I'm looking for something. Oh yeah, here it is. Wait, oh no, is that it? Or maybe it's in the email. Give me 1 second. See, I like to really dig it in. Give me 1 second. Man, give me 1 second. Okay, I'm gonna have to pull it up a different way. Let's see. Yeah, it's always when you're looking for something that you can't find it. Man, that's a good one too. Yeah, if I can find this, let me see something. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Don't go anywhere. Like I said, gets good. If I can't find it, then I'll just have to do it another on the next presentation. I was trying to give you all another treat. Let's see. Okay, I guess not. I guess not. But I'll just yeah. Seems like everything I'm looking for is not here anymore. Like, are they taking stuff out of my computer? Which they've done before. Anyway, okay, I won't waste any more time looking for that. And my wife is getting hungry right now, so I'm gonna have to get on the dinner. But yeah, let me pick up the pace of this. Okay, so here we are right here. Okay, so as you can see, I know it's not that easy to see, but what that says right there is Morocco. Okay, spelled the indigenous way. Okay, but it is Morocco. Give me a second. So, and that's right there. So the Bahamas here. Okay, so Morocco was, right in this Florida area. Okay, and I was trying to find, man, I don't know what happened to my document. Okay, wait. Well, give me 1 second. Let me just look up something. Give me 1 second. Cool. Give me 1 second. Okay, I'm gonna do it like this. I'm just gonna pull it up on here. Search. Don't go anywhere. All right, here it is. I had to, I had it in my files, but for some reason it's not there. Okay, let me go on the page. Visit, view image. Okay, can y'all see that? This is in Jacksonville, Florida. Okay, and this is the Shriners building, downtown Jacksonville, Florida. The old Morocco building. Okay, the old Morocco building. What secrets are the Shriners hiding? They know what time it is. They know what time it is. Hold on. Well, I thought I was sharing it. I wasn't sharing it. I thought I was sharing it. Let's see. Can y'all see that? Wait, try to make it a little bigger. Give me 1 second. I want to make it a little bigger. Why are you getting? Oh, wait, Here it is. Okay. Yeah, that one's a little bigger. You can more easily see this one. Okay. And that is the old Morocco built temple in Jacksonville, Florida, the Shriners Temple, downtown Jacksonville. Sure. Okay, let me see if I can make this bigger. See if I can zoom in somehow. No, I guess not. Anyway, just allow. Yeah, I'm not sure how to make this bigger, but y'all get the gist of it. Okay, when you look on the, when you look right here by the pillars, you see two Egyptian or Kemetic little sphinxes there. Okay, but they know what time it is. They know what time it is. But that's again, you know, a lot of our people are sleeping, so you know our people don't know what time it is. I also wanted to share something else. Give me 1 second. Only going to be about 10 more minutes at the most because it's past my dinner time, and my wife is patiently waiting for me to prepare the dinner. So, all right, let's see. This one, second. Oh yeah, here it is. Okay. So to add on, oh wait, before I do that, before I do that, oh, it's already in here. 2nd. Okay, I shared that already. Okay. So now to further reinforce what I was saying before, I'm gonna pull up something else. 2nd. So to further reinforce what I was saying just a little earlier, I want to show this image here. Some of you Moors may have seen this before. Okay, so if in fact there were no Moors here, then why is it that in this image here we have a group of, I'm not sure if they're which particular country, so I don't want to stereotype, but we have a group of Central Americans, okay? I don't know which particular country they're from, okay? They could be Mexican, they could be from, anywhere in Central America, you know, but why are they wearing the fez and turban, okay? Even the Mexicans know, even the Central Americans know, okay? Let me see if I can make this a little bigger. Yeah, yeah. That's a little bigger for you. Okay, drive it home. Okay, why is it only our people who don't know? Okay, why is it only our people who don't know? You see, I know a lot of Moors in the chat have seen this before, but I mean, this is body bag right here. Okay, y'all like what you heard so far? Gotten very quiet. Yeah, Lord of the Crickets, PNF. Game over, bruh. Oh yeah. Yay! You see, even they know. Even they know. Okay. So what do they know that most of these highly melanated people don't know? Okay. What do they know? They obviously know something, but they ain't saying. Thank you, PNF. They obviously know, but they ain't saying. How many of them have come up to you and talked about this kind of stuff? Or how many of them have y'all ever seen wearing a fez? And this isn't my first time seeing a quote unquote American Indian, with the what they call Mongolian features wearing a fez. It's not the first time I've seen this. I got another picture around here somewhere, just like that. Okay. Long before I even obtained this picture from some Moors. It was a Moor who posted this on Facebook. And I had one of quote unquote what they call Mongoloid Indian from many years back with a fez on. Okay, and it wasn't marked either. It wasn't like he was a Shriner because it wasn't tied down and it wasn't marked. Okay, yeah. So anyway, I just wanted to share some things with y'all. You know, I'm thankful that y'all tuned in. And also I want to, obviously there's going to have to be another part to this because I'm nowhere near finished, only because it's so late, and I know that people need to work uh, and have other obligations, at this time, you know, is why, I'm not gonna, hold y'all much longer. For those who, like what you heard, inspired to leave a donation, there's the information where you can leave it via PayPal, and Cash App. But, there's a lot, I got a lot more information, pardon the pun, a lot more information where this came from. Like I said, I could do this all day long. Literally, I can do this all day long. I can do this all day long. If I was to show you the files that I have just on this topic alone, just proving that the Moors were indigenous to the Americas, okay, I could do it long all day long without even repeating a beat, okay. But anyway, on that note, well, we have another comment in. Oh, we got somebody new. Enchant, enchanted nerd. Is this natives? Yeah. Okay. They have the blood. Okay. They have the blood. All right. So, you know, it is what it is. But they know what time it is. Obviously, they know their route just by the fact that they got the fez on. You know, don't think that a lot of them don't know. And again, like I showed you, like I presented to you in the last presentation, I showed you where the Dakota elder Meredith Musa Quinn said that he was taught by his forebears that he was given his name, his middle name Musa, because of the Moorish ancestry. Okay, so these brothers and sisters right here, okay, from Latin America, they know something. Okay, they know something. Of course, like I said before, quoting from Meredith Musa Quinn, a lot of the elders who had this type of information were killed off. Okay, but some of it did survive. Just the fact that Noble Drew Ali, okay, who was Cherokee, just the fact that he knew lets you know that it still survived, okay, because it said that he was raised by Cherokees, okay. So obviously, this information was passed down here and there. People kept it quiet and among themselves, and you know, didn't make it too known because people didn't want to get killed. Okay, so yeah, that is what it is. So PNF, if you're still in the chat, uh, which email is best for me to hit you up at? Is it the one? Um, is it the one, the old one that I have for you, or the one that you sent the donation from? If you're still in the chat, let me know because I wanted to send you a book. I got a gift for you. Or, you got my email, just hit me up. And I got the one I sent the donation from. Okay, cool. Cool. I'm gonna send something to you. All right. So anyway, on that note, I'm gonna sign off now. And for those who didn't get a chance to hit the thumbs up button, hit the thumbs up. And anyone whose comments I didn't get a chance to get to, I deeply apologize. It's just time is of the essence. As you can see, it's late. I mean, we could go on and on, you know, um, but I don't want to, be, um, I don't want to, you know, be disrespectful to my wife. She's ready to eat. She waited patiently, and uh, and I'm hungry too. But we will continue this. What's coming up on Thursday? I'm gonna have my godmother Firebird Grey Wolf on. She's about to do something very historic. Okay, and I don't want to spoil it. Okay, but she's about to do something major, and she's gonna talk about that. Okay, and you know, tune in on Thursday. And I may pop in tomorrow. Not sure. I may pop in tomorrow. Either way, if I do, because I do want to continue this conversation. There's a lot more. Like I said, there's a lot more to share. There's a lot more to share. Okay. And thank you, Awanasa. Yeah, just having some basic salad. Some raw food. This is like a raw food day. I try to do as much raw food as possible. You know, today was, I would say, like about a 98% raw food day. You know, but anyway, I'm not gonna hold y'all up much longer. Uh, I really wish I could get to everybody's comment. It's just more people in tonight than I expected. So man, and I hope they don't. I hope they put the comments, because a lot of times, sometimes the comments, when you replay the video, the comments don't even, they don't show the comments in the comment section for the live, in the chat. I mean, the chat section. That way I want to be able to go back to your questions and stuff like that so that I can, answer them, and, or concerns, I can address them, and things of that nature. So I'm hoping, even though you check off, for the comments in the chat to be enabled. Sometimes it's still not enabled. I don't understand. YouTube is funny, you know, but I hope that your comments are displayed. Your comments in the chat are displayed on the replay. But because I really, you know, would like to, get everybody's questions in. If because if I don't get a chance to um, answer your questions now, then I would like to do it on the next live. I just screenshot the questions and answer them for y'all. But anyway, yeah. On that note, it's a lot, man. And there was a lot of stuff in the chat. Too much, really too much for me to get to in this one setting. Yeah, it's just too many. If I didn't get to your comment or question, believe you me, if they enable the chat, I'll definitely do it on the next one. Okay, and I apologize, um, but I got to get out of here. And if you don't have a paid account on StreamYard, you only get but a certain amount of hours per month anyway. So, I'm gonna have to cut it anyway. So yeah. So on that note, I thank everyone for joining in. Okay, and again, I see there's more questions and stuff like that, and I'll definitely get to them. I apologize. Because many of y'all had questions. I see Damien had a couple of them that I didn't get a chance to get to, and a couple of other people. So I do apologize. All right, but at least if I don't get a chance to, not no, I mean not if I don't get if they don't enable the chat. Sometimes if you put it on the screen, then you know it's at least there. So let me see who didn't I get to. I'll put everybody's that I didn't get a chance to get to on this. So I'll just go through and see how can I do this. Yeah, YouTube is funny, man. Okay, that's one comment. Uh, yes, indeed, oh God, I was right there. I was right there. I was around when all this stuff first jumped off. Okay, when the Aboriginal movement sprung from the Moorish movement. Okay, I was right there. All right, from 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 the foundation. Okay, I'm just gonna run through all of these so that at least it's on the screen in case they don't allow me to show. Because I strongly feel that YouTube is I believe that they're haters, man. I believe that they you know because again, like I told y'all before, video, the last lecture that I did, they took it down. They blocked it from YouTube. They sure did. The last one that I did, I think it was the one that I did on the KKK infiltrating the Native American tribes. They blocked that. They talking about from copyright infringement, but I put the disclaimer at the beginning of the lecture. So how is it that y'all are getting me for copyright infringement? You know, so that's one of the reasons why. I'm just going through this right quick and putting all your comments there so that hopefully, that's not blocked. You know, just give me a second. We'll do that right quick. I hear my wife stirring in the back. She's eating other food because I don't have the food ready. So, so I'm coming right now. So yeah, let me. Just want to get your comments on the screen. So many of them tonight. The ones that I got already, I won't put up because I know I got most of them. Yeah, I usually like to put up everybody's comment as the lecture goes on, but there was so many comments today. I had more viewers than expected. I guess this is a hot topic, you know, it's a hot topic. But I'm like that too. Whenever somebody's talking about Moors, I'm like right on it. I support all the Moorish channels, all the indigenous channels, in general, because realistically, you know, we're all the same people, but you just have individuals who want to make it seem like we're not, you know. I really don't understand what the argument is about, you know. I really don't. Just going through the rest of the comments. One second. Oh, somebody was asking for my email. Okay, I'll put the email. I'll put my email up, Damien. Putting everybody's comment. YouTube might do me dirty. Damn, almost to the last one. Man, the chat was on fire tonight, boy. Wow, I couldn't even keep up. I didn't even try to. Couldn't even try to. I couldn't even get to everybody. Yeah, I think that's gonna do it. Yeah, I think the rest of them. Well, yes, indeed, cousin. Oh, now, so for those who haven't subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe. My email is tplonghouse at gmail.com. There it is right there. Yeah, for anybody who wants to send an email, there it is right there. Okay. So on that note, I'm gonna get off of here, and I thank everyone again, and tune in for the next show. And again, so Thursday for sure. I know I'm gonna be. Let's see, what's today's date? Today is 28th. So yeah, um, yeah, Thursday for sure. I may upload something tomorrow. And Saturday, Dr. Fatu Diara will be in the evening time. I'll put the exact time on the community page. Okay. Oh, I got somebody who just now joined in too. JC. Hey, thanks for joining with us, JC. Okay. So for those who just joined, just replay the video and you'll get a chance to check it out. And so on that note, I'm gonna sign off saying do da 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 e.